Storyline with Trish Stratus 2005 to 2006. Under her real name, she debuted in WWE on the October 10, 2005 episode of Raw as a face under the gimmick of WWE Women's Champion Trish Stratus' biggest fan. The angle had the two divas competing together in tag team matches, with James' character becoming increasingly obsessed with Stratus. The storyline included a Halloween costume contest, in which James was dressed like Stratus and helped Stratus retain the Women's Championship in a Fulfill Your Fantasy Battle Royal at Taboo Tuesday by eliminating herself and Victoria at the same time. James even began utilizing Stratus' signature finishing moves as her own during matches. James later became the #1 contender for the WWE Women's Championship on December 12. By defeating Victoria in a match to determine who would face Stratus at New Year's Revolution. Subsequently, the storyline between Mickie in the championship match at the pay-per-view, James lost to Stratus. Despite the defeat, James continued to be enamored of Stratus, which made Stratus uncomfortable. On March 6, 2006, the storyline had Stratus confronting James, telling her that they needed time apart from each other. Through the early part of 2006, Mickie would attack Ashley Massaro several times due to Massaro calling her crazy. At the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, James defeated Massaro with then Women's Champion Trish Stratus as the special guest referee. James would also confess her love for Stratus at the event. Massaro got revenge 1 week later on Raw. James and Stratus teamed together at the March 18, 2006 Saturday Night's Main Event 32 to defeat Candice Michelle and Victoria. After the match, James agreed to honor Stratus' wishes and attempted to kiss her. After Stratus pushed her away, James attacked Stratus and vowed to destroy her, turned heel in the process. The feud between James and Stratus culminated in a Women's Championship match at WrestleMania 22. Which James won, to earn her first Women's Championship in what was looked at as one of the best female matches ever produced at WrestleMania. Her angle with Stratus continued into Backlash during a rematch, after Stratus legitimately dislocated her shoulder when James threw her out of the rip match. Women's Champion 2006 to 2008. James dropped the WWE Women's Championship on August 14 to Lita, after Lita hit James with the title belt. After the Women's Championship was vacated due to the retirement of Trish Stratus, James entered a tournament to determine the new champion. She defeated Victoria and Melina en route to the finals at Cyber Sunday, where she lost to Lita. James transitioned into a face after she and Lita wrestled in a series of matches in which Lita chose stipulations to hinder Mickie's wrestling ability. The feud between James and Lita ended at Survivor Series, where James defeated Lita in the latter's retirement match to win her second Women's Championship. James then began an angle with Melina on January 29, 2007, when Melina became the #1 contender for the Women's Championship. Following a successful title defense on February 5, James teamed with Super Crazy in a mixed tag team match against Melina and Johnny Nitro. After Melina pinned James for the victory, she challenged her to a rematch for the title. James would subsequently lose the Women's Championship to Melina on February 19 and, was not seriously injured in the incident. The scripted feud between James and Melina was rekindled during her photo op on Raw. At a house show in Paris, France on April 24, James won her third Women's Championship during a triple threat match that also involved Victoria. Since Mickie pinned Victoria and not Melina, an immediate rematch was scheduled, in which James dropped the title back to Melina, giving her the shortest Women's Championship reign in WWE history. James later received a rematch for the title at Backlash, but was unsuccessful. After Backlash, James would only make sporadic appearances on television, wrestling occasionally in tag matches and rarely in singles competition. On the November 26th episode of Raw, James defeated Melina in a #1 contenders match for Beth Phoenix's Women's Championship, setting up a title match between the two at Armageddon, in which Phoenix retained the title. On the April 14, 2008 episode of Raw, held in London, England, James defeated Beth Phoenix to win her fourth Women's Championship. At Judgment Day, James successfully defended her title against Melina and Beth Phoenix in a triple threat match. Mickie re-entered the feud against Phoenix in mid-2008, where she and Kofi Kingston teamed up against Phoenix and Santino Marella at SummerSlam in a winner-takes-all tag team match for both the Women's and Intercontinental Championships, in which Mickie and Kingston lost their titles to Phoenix and Marella. After James lost the championship, she had 2 rematches for the title, but was unsuccessful in regaining it. At Survivor Series in November, James was part of the victorious Raw Diva team, which defeated the SmackDown Divas in a 5-on-5 elimination match. She eliminated Michelle McCool before being eliminated by Maryse. The following month at Armageddon, James teamed with Maria, Michelle McCool, and Kelly Kelly in a winning effort against Jillian Hall, Maryse, Victoria, and Natalya. Following an appearance in the 2-5 Diva Battle Royal at WrestleMania 25, James began feuding with the WWE Divas champion Maryse heading into Night of Champions on July 26. At the event, James defeated Maryse to win her first Divas championship, becoming only the second Diva in history to have held both the Women's and Divas titles. Throughout the summer, Mickie successfully defended the title against Gail Kim and Beth Phoenix on episodes of Raw, and against Alicia Fox at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view on October 4. 2 weeks later on Raw, James lost the title to Jillian Hall after an approximate 3-month title reign. After the show, James was traded to the SmackDown brand for the first time in her career, due to a Diva trade made by Raw guest host Nancy O'Dell. James made her debut with the brand on the October 23 episode of SmackDown, defeating Layla. On the October 30 episode of SmackDown, a controversial angle began that saw WWE Women's Champion Michelle McCool and Layla, collectively known as Lay Cool, bully James. On the November 20 episode of SmackDown, after James defeated Layla, McCool gave James the nickname Piggy James. That sent James to tears, resulting in a 5-on-5 Survivor Series match at the November pay-per-view Survivor Series, where James' team prevailed over McCool's team, with James and Melina as the sole survivors. On the December 4 episode of SmackDown, James became the #1 contender for McCool's Women's Championship by defeating Beth Phoenix and Natalya in a triple threat match. The following week, James challenged McCool for the championship at TLC, Tables, Ladders and Chairs, but was unsuccessful after interference from Layla. On the January 22 edition of SmackDown, another controversial segment in the feud took place when Lay Cool beat Don James, force-fed her a pig-shaped cake, and dumped a bowl of punch on her head, leaving her sobbing and defeated in the ring. The storyline feud continued into the Royal Rumble on January 31, 2010, where James finally defeated McCool in 20 seconds to become a 5-time Women's Champion, the second most reigns with the old WWE Women's Championship after Trish Stratus, who has had 7 reigns. Over the following couple of weeks, SmackDown consultant Vickie Guerrero was introduced into the rivalry, choosing to side with Lay Cool over James. On the February 26 episode of SmackDown, McCool used her rematch clause to face James for the Women's Championship, with Guerrero acting as special guest referee. After Guerrero slapped James, McCool pinned her to regain the title. On March, James was diagnosed with a staph infection on her right knee, putting her out of action for 3 weeks. She returned on the March 22 episode of Raw, where alongside Kelly Kelly, she accompanied Eve Torres, Beth Phoenix, and Gail Kim in their losing effort against McCool, Maryse and Layla, who had Vickie Guerrero and Alicia Fox in their corner. This set up a 10-diva tag team match at WrestleMania 26, in which James made an unsuccessful in-ring return after Vickie pinned Kelly. James made her last appearance on Raw during a rematch, where her team was victorious. James' final match in WWE aired on the April 23 episode of SmackDown, where she teamed with former longtime rival Beth Phoenix against Lay Cool in a losing effort when she was pinned by Layla. James was released from WWE one day earlier on April 22, having pre-taped her SmackDown match. According to James, WWE explained the decision as due to desiring to move in a new direction with their women's division. Before moving forward, subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon for more upcoming videos. Sporadic appearances